For months now, the Supra has felt like what's been an insanely expensive disassembly tutorial, but today, that's changing. Today, we're gonna start putting it back together. We're gonna attempt to get the manifold put back on the car, and then get the rest of the fuel system done so that we're one step closer to finally getting this thing fired back up. Now, before we actually put the manifold back on, we do have a few things that we need to do to it. And there are a few things that I've already done to it, which includes cleaning it up. Looks pretty clean. I have added a 1/8 NPT Rife intake air temperature sensor. And then since we're going drive-by-wire, we no longer need an idle air control valve. So I have this nice, pretty little block-off plate from outside our garage. But what I still need to do is, I think I'm going to pull some of these out and drill and tap 1/8 NPT so that I can put some good fittings in there so that I can run pressure lines to things like the fuel pressure regulator, manifold absolute pressure sensor, and some other things. I like to use push lock fittings for those things. So I think I'm going to try and pull these out, drill and tap these 1/8 NPT. And then on the lower intake manifold, we do need to get the injectors and the fuel rail put in. We'll get the throttle body put on. And then I also do need a solution to be able to mount the ethanol content sensor somewhere in the engine bay. And I think a good spot is gonna be on the underside of the intake manifold. So we're gonna make a bracket and see how we can mount this thing on the bottom side of the intake manifold so that we can just loop the fuel line down and then back to the return. It's gonna work. We're gonna start by making the bracket for the ethanol content sensor because that's gonna go on the bottom. It'll be easy to do before we put the intake manifold back on the car. So I have this cheap little bracket that I bought on Amazon that allows you to mount the ethanol content sensor using these two holes. And I bought this bracket from Lowe's that's for like hanging a shelf on the wall. And I think I can cut it up a little bit in order to make a little L bracket that will allow me, let's grab this, to use this stud on the bottom of the manifold to kind of build me a bracket here. I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit, and then I'll be able to mount this on the bottom side of this intake manifold so that the fuel line can kind of just come out, down, and then back out. It's gonna make sense. First, let's take some measurements and chop this thing up. Love it when I open my Dremel case upside down and a million tiny Dremel pieces fall out. It's always a good time. That seems about right. So let's get those all fell out. And just like that, we got a little bracket. Can now mount these two things together. It's not too bad. I think that'll work good. That'll keep this sensor nice and secure and hidden out of the way. I'll be able to just run the fuel lines right to it. So, pretty good. All right, now that that's done, let's get this thing put back on the car. We have a brand new OEM gasket. Hey Google, what's the torque spec for a 2JZ intake manifold?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Thanks for nothing, Google. Let's get the fuel rail put on this thing. Okay, so the fuel rail setup that we're going to be going with is this Radium engineering piece that converts the 2JZ from a side feed injector to a top feed injector. This is the fuel rail, and to go with the fuel rail, we will be using Radium Engineering's direct mount fuel pressure regulator. We also have their fuel damper, and we are going to be using Injector Dynamics ID1750X injectors. In order to make these injectors work with the factory intake manifold, Radium supplies these little injector adapters. So these will sit inside the factory intake manifold, and it will allow you to use a 14mm injector, which is just a common injector. We'll start getting all this stuff put together and then put onto the car. Fuel pulse damper installed. Radium puts all the instructions printed right on their products, so you know exactly where everything goes. So this is the fuel pressure regulator. It does mount directly to the end of the fuel rail, which is one of the reasons that I went with this Radium setup. I like that all of the components work really well together, all the way from the fuel pump to the fuel rail. And then another bonus about all of this Radium stuff, the amount of engineering that kind of goes into these things is pretty crazy. Like, all of this stuff is rotatable so that you can always line everything up. Like, all this stuff is tight in the fuel rail, but you have all of this movement that is built into the system so that once it's on the car, you have sort of like all these possibilities for how you want to position things and run the fuel lines and how everything is set up. So one of the reasons I went with the Radium system is just the ability to like have everything work together really well. As you can see, I've put my fuel pressure sensor that's going to feed the fuel pressure to the ECU directly onto the fuel pressure regulator. So nice and simple. And like I said, all of this swivels. Everything about this, including the top where the vacuum line is, it all moves so you can position this stuff however you want it, which is just awesome. Great. I mean, it makes everything so easy. Now it's time for the fun part. Okay, so lower intake manifold is back on the car. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a couple days since I got that put on there, but I am wearing the same t-shirt for continuity. At least I think it's the same t-shirt. If it's not, I only have like 4 t-shirts. Pretty good chance it is. So next step before we put the upper intake manifold back on is, because we mounted that ethanol sensor on the bottom of the intake manifold, and that's going to go in the return line, I'm going to run a line from the fuel pressure regulator to that ethanol sensor so that whenever we run the fuel lines to the back of the car, the return line can just come up, attach to the other side of that ethanol content sensor. Everything should work pretty smoothly. Because these fuel lines are designed for this car, the return line would have come up right to the fuel pressure regulator, but because the ethanol sensor is so close that that fuel line should still work. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and make a fuel line. I'm using rubber hose for this short little piece, just because it's a little bit more flexible. This is rated for ethanol, just maybe isn't as pretty as braided line. Considering this is tucked away on the back. I need it to be a little bit flexible, and it's after the injectors. I think we'll be all right. Let's get this thing thrown on there real quick, and then we'll be able to modify the upper intake manifold. On the intake manifold, I want to use mostly push lock fittings. So what I'm going to do is try and heat this intake manifold up, remove these two push-in fittings along with this one here, and then I will drill and tap those so that I can thread in push locks, not have to worry about anything. I'm also going to do this one, and I'm just going to put a plug in it because I don't need it. This little one right here, I'm going to keep because that is going to run to the fuel pulse damper. That fitting on that pulse damper is just a regular vacuum line. So I'm going to keep that one. The Evo kind of has the same setup. It has one regular vacuum fitting on it because the fuel pressure regulator vacuum fitting is part of the fuel pressure regulator. This Radium regulator that's on this car actually has an adapter for push lock. So we're going to run mostly everything push lock. So be push lock to map sensor, push lock to fuel pressure regulator, and this one will be push lock to blow off valve. It's absolutely incredible how many vacuum lines I pulled off of this car, like 3 or 4 going back on, just to kind of show you how wild the systems are and how you can really condense it into just the few things that you need. Make everything look nice and pretty and easy to work on. Last one. After you do something like that, it's very important that you make sure you got all of the little metal pieces out from the inside of here. So I went ahead and cleaned this all out, used the compressor, move a bunch of air through it, got all the little metal bits out of there. So now we can get this thing set up to go back on the car. This is my map sensor that I just installed, and this setup may look a little bit strange considering I could just thread this directly into the back of the intake manifold. But with map sensors, I like to avoid vibration as much as I can. On the Evo, I mounted the map sensor on the firewall to keep it off of the engine completely. With this one, I don't have like a super good option to put it somewhere, so I still isolated it with this rubber mount. And then I just ran a short line to it so that it's mounted on the intake manifold. This way, if I ever need to take the intake manifold back off or anything like that, it's super easy. Everything's kind of in one piece. But yeah, that's why this setup might look a little bit strange. I might go back and change it, move it to the firewall, do something different later if I don't really like the way that it looks in the engine bay. But for right now, this is gonna work, and it won't be hard to move around if I want to. With that being said, let's get this thing back on the car. Another OEM gasket. All right, intake manifold is on. Now, the last thing to attach to the intake manifold is the throttle body. And for that, we have some more Powerhouse Racing goodies. This is a throttle body adapter. It's a Bosch 74mm throttle body with a 3-inch coupler adapter attached to it. These two things with the throttle body put together will make the throttle body about as long as the 15-mile long throttle body that comes on these cars from the factory. That way I can continue to use the same intercooler piping that I was using before. Let's do it. All right, throttle body on. Starting to look like a car that could potentially run soon, but it's not. So we still got a lot of work to do. Let's look at all valve springs, cams, a ton of stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. That's gonna be it for this one. See you.